Here we are in the beautiful and lush landscape of Rutgers Gardens in North Brunswick, New Jersey. I spent countless youthful days in this meadow, and this tree in particular always held a special grip on my heart. I would sit in it and tell it my secrets and bring my friends with me to bask in its ancient calm. The poor thing has been all but desecrated, and with it, a piece of my adolescence. This tree sat at the far side of the meadow where we took the album cover photo for Don't Take It for Granted. And I knew that I wanted this particular tree to be there with us as we joyfully dawdled through the grass that day. This album to me was a bridge between my troubled childhood and the future I hoped and longed for. It was more like a section of a diary than a collection of songs. I poured my very essence into the music and lyrics, and when I listen back to it now, I'm glad that I did. Because just like reading an entry from an old book you once scribbled in, you may recoil at some of the things you wrote, but nonetheless, you will feel a nostalgic connection to who you once were, and see portents of the person that you would become. Thank you for joining me today, as we take a trip together into the meadow, to mourn the loss of our venerable old tree, and to celebrate a decade of Don't Take It for Granted. Our first show as Map of Rome was at a New Year's Eve party in my bedroom in Milltown, New Jersey, where the majority of Don't Take It for Granted was written and recorded. At the time, the band was just me and my friend Deirdre, and we had just released our first EP, Sleeping In. It was an extremely DIY affair. Deirdre recorded drum parts in a restaurant overnight, and everything else was recorded by my friend Dan, aka Zeb Frenar, in his bedroom over many months. Deirdre and I had spent years together playing in a metalcore band called A Need for Reason, so we were already very intertwined musically. I had never met a drummer that understood my weirdness so well, and I was ecstatic that they would join me in this weird project that I was working on. We were booked on our first real gigs by our friend Brittany at a bar in Rahway where we played at midnight to a very small crowd. We recruited our friend Kevin from the band In Our Glory, who we had played shows with in A Need for Reason, to play bass with us live. Kevin had mentioned that his friend Alex, also from In Our Glory, might be interested in joining on guitar. Alex became a firm friend and started playing those dreary midnight shows at the bar with us. I'm surprised he stuck around. Those first few shows were rough and sloppy, but we were forming a kinship together that would blossom as we started to become a cohesive unit. Kevin left soon after to work on other projects, so Deirdre recommended a friend named Tyler to join on bass. Tyler had recently left the metalcore band Timelines, and we clicked almost immediately. I know that this video playing doesn't seem like a metalcore band, but this was an acoustic performance. Here's proof that they were in fact metalcore.
Virginia, what the fuck are you waiting for? I will not fail me. I will not fail me. I will not fail me. I will not fail me.
Once our lineup was solidified, we started playing shows and writing what would ultimately become Don't Take It for Granted. I was thrilled that my little idiosyncratic side project had the full force of 4 incredible musicians behind it, and I still feel lucky to this day that everything panned out the way that it did. We had a lot of influences during the writing process of this record. Here's Tyler and I talking about some of them from an interview we did with Brandon Zagarsky of Audio Addiction in 2016.
What are some of your musical influences?
You go first.
I'm a big Modest Mouse fan.
Nice.
Kind of graduated to Built to Spill. Finch.
Nice, Finch.
I know we both like Brian Wilson a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Say Anything. I've been listening to a lot of Joyce Manor recently.
Nice.
And I love Bomb the Music Industry. That's like my biggest influence.
Oh, yeah.
And Weezer.
Nice, of course. Weezer, yeah.
Krill.
Oh, the new Dillinger Escape Plan record is incredible. I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we actually just played an entire Weezer cover set.
Yeah, like last week.
I was working as a warehouse guy at the Sam Ash in Edison when I saw a blue steel drum in the trash bin. Apparently, a customer had tried to sit on it and destroyed the stand, so it ended up in the discard pile. I asked my boss if I could have it, and he told me that once I took it outside of the building, he didn't care what happened to it. So I took it home and made a little stand for it myself. I'm glad that that happened, because this record wouldn't have sounded the way it did without it. Thanks to Sean. I was really into Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys at this time, and I wanted to make a big multi-layered song with a lot of texture and soundscape elements. The song was originally going to be called Wallow, and looking back, I probably should have named it that, because everyone told us that it was off-putting to have a song called Piss.
It's called, Piss.
Either way, I love how this song opens the record. The cat purring in the opening is my now deceased cat Shin. She was a wonderful creature, and it's nice to have her immortalized on here. The steel drum plays one of two motifs that repeat throughout the record. I don't think we meant to make a concept album, but we kept adding these motifs into the songs as we were writing, and it ended up coming together in a really interesting way. Tyler played the banjo parts. They really fill out the song and give it a relaxed feeling mixed with the steel drum. I added layers of atmospheric synths to add to the vibe. This part during the second verse sounds like a synth, but it's actually a mandolin with a ton of effects on it. The vocal harmonies at the end were done with a bunch of our friends together in my room. It was the band and all of our boys and girls crammed around the microphone just belting out these harmonies, and I love how it came out. I hope that we made Brian Wilson proud. Rest in peace. This one was fun to write and a little prophetic in a way, because the algorithmic manipulation of social media is so much worse now than it was when we wrote the song. The majority of the lyrics are taken from actual posts that I saw on Facebook. Then from the bridge on, it wraps up the theme of the song pretty nicely. We had fun putting a few weird elements in, like the ska part, a nod to local legends Catch-22 and Streetlight Manifesto.
Thursday night, you suck, and I suck too, and our friends suck. I think I'll have to pass. The broadcast is just till tomorrow, and I'm almost out of gas. How will I get...
The synth in the bridge is the first time we used the "Don't You Take It For Granted" motif that appears throughout the record. There's also a callback to a song called Hey Dudes from our first EP. This is definitely the most straightforward song on the album from a compositional standpoint, which is why I made a music video for it. I used a tool for college students to build a fake Facebook feed and had to scroll through it manually while screen recording to get it timed right. It took an entire day to get it all done, but I'm really proud of the way it came out. This is just a straight up banger, bro, and you love it. Don't take it for granted.
All my friends are faces on the screen. All my friends are faces on the screen. Thank you guys so much. You're fucking awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here's where the bossa nova and Latin influences start coming out on the record. Deirdre's drumming is just unbelievable here, and some of the best on the record. We put mandolin and ukulele on the chorus to brighten it up, and the synth line here is a lot of fun. I couldn't figure out a way to end the song, so we ended up using the chord progression from Piss, and Alex plays the steel drum motif on the lead guitar. It all blends nicely and adds to the record feeling like a cohesive piece of art instead of a collection of random songs. This is the most experimental track on the record by far. There's not much difference from the demo version I recorded, except our producer Jeremy decided that Deirdre should be the lead vocalist on this song, which definitely worked out for the better because it sounds great.
On a grave of apathy, place no flowers, place no wreath. Just let me rot here.
I have a knack for collecting random instruments, so I made use of a guiro and vibroslap for the middle build-up section, or modest mouse part as we called it. This is one of two songs on the record that don't contain one of the recurring motifs, which makes it stand out from the rest. I like that it tells a story and the music follows the lyrics instead of the other way around. The structure is very strange, but I think that's what makes it one of the most memorable tracks on the album.
Keep it up, Jim. I can't to tell you why I'm losing time. Must have something to do with steal my heart in. I don't want to break the psychology. No, I know me right there. So I think you should stop calling me when you're drunk at 3 in the morning without any warning. It's fucking annoying and I'm really just trying to sleep.
This is another Latin flavor song, and it was one of the first songs we wrote together in the studio. The chorus calls back to the chord progression from the chorus of Piss, and I snuck in the "Don't You Take It For Granted" motif into the synths here. Tyler lays down another insanely technical bass line, and it adds a lot of dynamic to the basic 4-chord structure. This is just a straightforward rocker, fun to play live and a good appetizer for the meal to come.
Go! Don't you take it for granted. Don't you take it for granted. We don't have it all that bad. We don't have it all that bad.
I knew this song was special when we wrote it, So much so that it became the centerpiece of the album and the title track. This is where the foreshadowing of the "Don't You Take It For Granted" motif pays off in full glory, as the climax of the song erupts into a raucous celebration of life and friendship. The song acts as kind of a pressure release valve for the previously explored themes of depression, sadness, and anxiety that pepper the first half of the record. The song is about laughing with mirth in the face of darkness and proclaiming the will to remain positive despite the sadness that surrounds you. When I listen to this song, it always brings a smile to my face, remembering all of the people who supported us and told us to never stop doing what we were doing. From here on out, the record starts to shift into a more positive direction thematically, and the themes on this song continue into the final two. I remember when I was recording my vocal parts for this song, Tyler took the role of my vocal coach and kept telling me to go deeper into my emotions and connection to the song while I was singing. We turned off all of the lights and lit candles to add to the atmosphere of the performances. He told me to channel Brian Wilson, Isaac Brock, even Bobby Brown, and it worked, because toward the last couple of takes I was on the verge of tears. My vocals were shaky and authentic, and one of those last takes ended up on the record.
I'm 25 and I still deliver pizza. Human, but I feel like more of a creature. I wanna just leave and say fuck everything, so that maybe I will feel okay.
Alex ended up writing the lead guitar part at the end of the song, and I remember being absolutely floored by it. His guitar sounds like the hopeful tolling of church bells ringing through the air after an endless night, ending the song on a hopeful yet somber note. Lost in My Head is where the record comes into its full expression for me. It revisits all of the themes of hopelessness and despair, but with a more blasé attitude. And by the end of the track, we leave on a hopeful note. It's my personal favorite from the album, and I think that it's a perfect closing track, reinforcing the themes of the record and ending on a high note. Tyler plays the glockenspiel during the verses. It's a perfect complement to the rest of the instrumentation going on. We broke out the shakers and guiro again on this one, and I decided to sing in a lower register to keep the mood calm before the climax.
About all the shit that you said, and I'm sorry that I don't realize how selfish I am.
The motif from the start of the album plays again on the steel drums, but this time the chord progression behind it moves up instead of down, so the melody becomes more cheerful as a result. I wanted to throw everything we had into this song, so Alex and I wrote complementary guitar solos, harmonizing the intros and outros together. The result was wonderful, And every time I hear this song, I find my brain focusing on different aspects of it. Birds chirping at the end were recorded one morning from my childhood bedroom window, and it always reminds me of the time we spent writing and recording this album. I would like to personally thank you so much from the bottom of my heart if you made it this far into the video. Words cannot express how much this album means to me and the joy that filled my heart while making this documentary. My only hope is that now you will find the courage within yourself to go out and create something of your own. I can guarantee that it is worth it. If only 5 people watch this to the very end, then I can say that those 5 people are probably my closest friends. Good night. I love you all. Don't you take it for granted. We don't have it all that bad.